Well, hey there, everybody. This is Pastor Rochelle. So glad to be with you guys. We are going to just spend a few minutes here, just chatting for a little bit. I sound a little bit stopped up and congested. I know I'm getting over not feeling too good. I'm feeling better today. Not yet 100%. We're about 80% of the way there, but y'all keep praying for me, and I know I'll feel better very, very soon. I appreciate all the prayers that I've gotten so far from people. I've been getting messages and texts from you all saying you've been praying for me, and I appreciate it. I need it. Every day gets a little bit better. But today I wanted to hop on just for a little bit and chat for a little bit. This is one of those times of the year where if you're a mom or a dad, it's the most wonderful time of the year for the most part. You say, is it Christmas already? Not quite yet. It's back to school season, which is fantastic. All the kids are heading back to school or starting their first years, whether it's elementary age kids, junior high, senior high. Some of our college people are heading off to school this year. It could be first year, it could be your last year. It's a season of transition and things getting back in the routine, things getting back on schedule, which y'all know I love my schedule. So I just wanted to get on for a little bit and chat with you guys about some of the stuff that we do as a family as we kind of get near back to school and getting the kids kind of reined back in. You all know we've got 5 kids. Not all of them are school aged. About 3 of them are school aged right now. And then the other 2, they join in as they can. Darnell and I have had the wonderful opportunity of being able to homeschool our kids as well as do just like traditional school. We homeschool for like 4 years and then send our kids off to private school for last year was actually their first year. And so it was we've had a chance to have the taste of both worlds there. And both worlds have their pros and cons. Both worlds have got things that I love about them, things that I wish I could exchange about them. I think one of the wonderful things, probably the most wonderful thing that I loved about homeschool was the flexibility. We travel a lot, and so that was really great for me, being able to have that flexibility with homeschooling and not feeling like I needed to make sure that the kids were in class. And when they were in regular, school, traditional school, I wanted to make sure that they were in class learning and a part of the daily routine and the daily activities there. But when we were homeschooling, it was a little more free for me, a little, just my schedule's a little bit more liquid. I'll say it that way, where we could kind of pull them in, and we needed to take us off of school for a week and travel somewhere we could and then pick back up. So anyhow, we'll talk more later about, different pros and cons and the ups and downs and different things that you guys may have experienced. I know we've got homeschoolers out there watching, as well as people who are, your kids are in traditional schools. So, but one of the things that Pastor and I always tried to just incorporate, no matter whether we were homeschooling or if our kids were in traditional school, we took, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, when it talks about Jesus when he was a young boy, and it says, Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. And we took that as kind of just an outline, especially for our children, of just some points of growth for them that we would like to see. And it was really an outline for us as parents to kind of gauge and say, are we hitting these main points of growth in our kids' lives? So we really tried to focus in on those 4 areas. You all know with kids, there's so much going on. There's so much to think about. And as parents and as moms, you're always thinking, man, did I do that right? Man, did I handle that situation right? This kid went off on this one. Or did I apply the right amount of discipline? Or was I too harsh? Was I too lenient? There's all these questions that go along with being a parent. And so we really just tried to narrow it down. These are the 4 areas where we want to see our kids grow in. And one was in wisdom. And of course, that's natural wisdom. That's, hey, y'all got to get in your books. You got to study your studies. You got to make, do your best. We didn't necessarily always stress that they made straight A's or certain letter grades. We know our children. We know what their best looks like. And as long as they were given their absolute best, we were pretty satisfied with that. We can always tell when they're being kind of lazy and not giving their best. I'm sure as you all moms, you guys out there know the same thing, when they're giving their best or not. So But we wanted to make sure that they were in a challenging environment academically, where they were growing in just knowledge and wisdom and had everything at their fingertips that they needed at whatever stage of life they were in to grow academically and to grow in wisdom, just like Jesus did. That's not only on the educational side just naturally, but also spiritually. Are they growing in wisdom? Are they memorizing their Bible verses? Are they not only just memorizing it, but are they applying it in everyday life situations? And how we can incorporate those Bible study times that we've had and the themes and topics that we're studying as a family. How do we incorporate that in their everyday life situations and conflict resolution and just things that they have questions about? So we always, again, tried to target making sure that they're growing in wisdom. The next thing was making sure that they're growing in stature. And what that looks like for me is just, hey, are my kids eating? We got anywhere from, infants to, 8-year-olds. And so you guys know I've got a 2-year-old. And so there are times when all he wants to eat all day is cheese and raisins. And so, hey, some days we have cheese and raisins for breakfast and lunch and dinner for him. But as long as he's eating, I'm cool. It's all right. Now, I'm not going to let my 8-year-old fly with that, but some days you just got to take it as you can get it. But we always try to make sure that we've got just, food choices there for them, where they can choose from, just a healthy variety of snacks and lunches and breakfast. We try to give them, the older ones, of course, especially some of the older ones, choices with what they have to eat. Mom doesn't always decide, although mom would much rather have it that way, where she decides what's eaten all throughout the day. But as long as I know I've got healthy choices there for them, I do decide the main meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And then, for any of their snacks, they're welcome to go through the snack drawer, as I call it, which is a snack drawer, literally, that is at their fingertips, where anybody can grab at it, even the little 2-year-old. And it's just full of just little healthy snack options that they can grab, where they're not dependent upon me to make every decision for them, so far as their snacks and things go. So wisdom, stature, making sure that they're staying healthy, making sure that they've got good exercise habits, and we're taking them on walks, and just making sure that they're growing in these areas. And then in favor with God. So what does their spiritual life look like? My goodness. Are they serving in church? Are they praying? Is prayer their first go-to? I know with a lot of my my older kids, they'll say, Mom, I need your help. I can't find something. And we've always tried to teach them from early on, your first thing to do is to pray first. It's the thing we teach our kids. We teach it all throughout Influence Church, pray first. And so when they come in, and it actually just happened a couple days ago, Clayton was putting together this Lego truck thing. He loves Legos. And so he usually does a super good job at it, gets them done really quick and enjoys it. And so he says, Mom, I can't find this piece. I'm missing this one piece. And of course, it's holding up the whole project. And so I went up to his room and I started helping him. I said, Bud, did you pray first? Did you pray before you came and got Mom? And he says, no, I didn't. I said, okay, I'm going to step out and you pray and you call me back after you've prayed. So he prayed and he says, Mom, I prayed. I said, okay, I'll help you look now. And so I was helping him look, and he went over to this one spot and he says, Mom, God told me where to find it. And sure enough, the Lord showed him exactly where it was. He went right to it and he says, I don't need your help anymore. Okay. Mom time is over. But, just taking moments every day to make sure that we begin and end each day in prayer, and that we make sure to put God first in everything. It always cracks me up because they're always so competitive. And you all know kids, they're the first to tattletale on one another. We are going through a major tattletale episode in the West household right now, and it's driving me batty. It's just like, enough of the tattletelling. You've literally got, I'd probably say a week ago, we had 3 kids that could talk really well. Now our 4th one has started in on this. And he's putting together enough words where it's like, we know who did what to him. Cordy hit arm. This is what he told me the other day. He's pointed to his injured arm. It's like, okay, I got it. Now the 4th one is tattletelling. And so I think we'll be on this journey for a while. If you know what I'm talking about, just, type in there in the comments there, say, listen, Rochelle, I feel you. I got you. Yes. And then pray for me. Tell me, we'll get through it. And I'll believe you and hold on to that with all the faith I can muster. But anyhow, so, as we're going through these stages, are we incorporating their love walk in every area of their life, or just whatever? We're on the love walk right now in our um, Bible studies. We've been on the love walk since January 1. And we are still doing the love walk. They haven't mastered it yet, but I don't think any of us quite have. So we've just all been studying the love walk for a while. But again, making sure they're growing in wisdom and stature and favor with God. And then also favor with men. What does their social lives look like? Are we intentionally putting them in situations to grow and develop socially and to interact with not just their peers, but people who are older than them, people who are younger than them? What does that look like for each of our children? And I say each of our children because each of them are different. And so how they interact socially varies depending upon their personalities and what they're involved in or interested in. Um, so yeah, when we approach just back to school, our kids, life in general, especially raising a family, those are our four main topics, our four main outlines that we're just like, hey, if we can focus in on these four things, it'll make everything else seem a little less hectic. And then it helps us to kind of figure out what battles we're going to choose to fight and what battles we're just going to choose to let go. And some days, as a mom, you have to choose what battles you're going to fight. You have to choose which ones you're going to jump in and which ones you're just going to be like, if the kid doesn't want to wear pants today, I'm just not going to fight that. It's just one of those days, And so, anyhow, full of transitions this upcoming fall. Our family's going through a lot of transitions, and we're excited about that. I'm sure many of you guys are too. But I wanted to also just give you just some quick pointers here too. I jotted some things down on my phone that I wanted to share with you guys, and want to make sure that I share with you just about what I think, some things that every mom would want to know as they're sending their kids back to school. But before I tell you what's on my list, I want to invite Kahli to come on with me and kind of share a little bit about their family dynamics and what back to school looks like for them, and share just a little bit about what's going on with the Gerkens as y'all are heading back to school.
Yes, we are back at it, unfortunately, in some ways, but also exciting in others. So it helps, it helps to have a routine. But yeah, we homeschool. So we started back 2 weeks ago. That we're in our second week this week. So it's been really good. It's been good. We have 4 boys, if you don't know, and boys need routine, and I need routine. So I love being back to school. It's been really good for us. So,
and Kahli, you've always homeschooled, haven't you?
We always have, yeah. Right from the start, the Lord told us to homeschool, and I did not want to at all. But and then we moved a lot, and so then I was like, okay, Lord, I see why you're having us do this. And every year we just pray. I don't think that there's a the same answer for every family. That doesn't exist. We just believe in seeking the Lord every year, and we just ask him, and we just obey whatever he says. And this year I thought for sure this was the year they're all going into a school, or at least our oldest Thor going into 6th grade. But the Lord said, no, I want you to build your house, keep building your house. So that's what we're doing. We're back at it.
That's awesome. Pastor and I do the same thing every year too, and we just say pray, and we just pray and ask God, what do you want them to do this year, And like you said, I think sometimes people think that, homeschooling is like a pass for moms to stay at home again. You know what I mean? But homeschool is some definite hard work. Yeah. Not just the education portion, of educating your kids and walking them through new concepts and teaching them new things, but they are in an environment that they're comfortable with, they're used to, they're with, usually it's their mom that they're with, they're very comfortable with. I feel like they test more boundaries than they would in a school, in a classroom setting, or with, teachers or other people, other authority figures. I'll say it that way. I feel like at least my kids did, test the boundaries a whole lot. Like, mom's not going to make me sit here and do my work,
Right.
But it is difficult work. There are schedules, like you said, to make sure that you maintain, and sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, I think, homeschooling than a traditional school, especially on the parent that is the primary one doing the education, or laying out the lessons, or doing the lesson plans, or following and making sure that the kids are learning what they need to learn, and picking up on what they need to pick up on, and giving more concentration or more focus to one kid in a certain area than another kid in different areas. And then you've got your kids that may not be in school at the moment, that you're still taking care of while you're trying to homeschool the others.
Yes, that's the hardest part. It's those toddlers that are running around.
The little ones.
Yes. Yes. Oh my.
Yeah, but you guys have made it through. And so tell us some of your tips, that you have for a mom that's got kids that are going back to school or homeschooling. Just give us some tips that you guys have either seen work for your family, or, maybe just some things that you have struggled through, fought through, failed at, and it's like, this totally didn't work, and I found out the hard way.
Yeah. Oh man, so many things. I would say some of my tricks are to start early. That's something I just kind of live by. Start early. For me, that works best if I can start my day early, start my kids' day early, and kind of get a jump start on things, because the day just goes really fast. So time with the Lord, we try to encourage our kids to do that in the mornings. That it's easiest to fit time in with the Lord in the morning. That's when mommy and daddy do it, because otherwise it's really tough to get in that time with him, where you can just have, even if it's just 5 minutes of quiet. That's just really important to us. And so I think starting your day early helps. And not that has to be at 4 a.m., but I think setting a time where you can have an extra moment to breathe, for me, that just helps to plan your day. I think being quick to forgive and ask for forgiveness is the only way that I survive. I mess up so much as a mom, as a wife, just as a human. And so I think that's something that's my key. I don't know. I've got nothing else. I mess up a lot. And so I just repent a lot and say, guys, I missed it. I yelled. I was angry. I didn't handle that right. Or I was frustrated with you trying to get out the door, trying to get up in the morning, or I didn't start early. I messed up. I missed that boat, and now I'm cranky. And so, yeah, I repent a lot to my kids. My mom taught me that, and I'm so grateful that she did. That's one of our tricks that happens a lot in our house. And I think it's so great, too, because then your kids, they know how to repent, and they know how to forgive, because you're walking that out right in front of them. And then some other tricks, I don't know, have fun together, try to play games, or get out of the house, do something different, switch it up, go somewhere new. We took the kids to that Rise, like obstacle course climbing thing this last week, and just different things like that make a huge difference in your family. It's just creating fun memories where you will remember that. I'm really scheduled, and so
Me too.
a good schedule and a plan is just like it's glorious. It's wonderful.
So what happens, Kahli, when for you, when things go off schedule?
Oh,
what does that do to you?
Years ago, it would do a lot more to me. Now I have learned to just like, come on, here we go. I have changed and grown a lot. It depends on how big of an off schedule thing it is. But honestly, now I feel like I do pretty good about just rolling with it. I think that I've had to learn that with being married to Scott. He is a very fly by the seat of your pants kind of a person. And have fun, embrace the moment. Let's try to do this. And then having 4 kids, it just makes it crazy. So what happens is I take a big breath, I pray, and I try to remind myself that I learned this from you, Pastor Rochelle. You always say, I'm at the right place at the right time. I just try to live by that.
Yep.
It's okay. The Lord worked it out. And yeah.
I feel like in those moments where my schedule is just being totally thrown off, I feel like it's like God like kicking over an idol for me. Like, all right, your schedule's becoming a little too important for you.
Good.
You know, here's a kick right in the middle of it.
That's so
Time to rein you back in, you know, because I can go easy schedule heavy, you know, and everything is planned out to the minute. And it's like, then it leaves no room for fun and spontaneity, which, you know, I didn't think I had to have it, but living with Pastor Darnell, I do need it now.
Yes. You realize it's better. I realize it's better, you know.
Totally.
You still need a plan, but
Yeah.
like, it is so much more adventurous. So
Yep. So here's a few things that I thought of and wanted to share with you guys as you're heading into the new school year. Again, whether you've got newbies going in, whether it's their first year of preschool or their first year at kindergarten, junior high is another big one. High schoolers, I know I've seen a lot of, you know, first day freshmen, first day seniors, where it's your last day, it's your last first day, you know, at school, which is really a big thing too. And as well as a lot of people stepping into, you know, college for the first time, or maybe it's your first day of your senior year in college, and you're like, man, you know, this is it. And it's just lots of transition. So here's a few things before I forget and jump into these things. So let me remind you, make sure you get your tickets to Girlfriends Conference 2023 coming up here in September. Make sure you grab them, get one for yourself, bring somebody with you. We always have such an amazing time together, and I want you to come be my guest and hang out with me and some of my girlfriends this year. We've got Ruth Graham Bell, who's going to be a speaker with us this fall, along with Dr. Anita Phillips. I almost called her Anita Baker. That was the singer. All right. So, yeah. My mom and dad listened to her a lot, which meant we listened to her a lot. So not Anita Baker, but Dr. Anita Phillips will be here. And I'll be speaking. We're going to have a wonderful time together. And this year, believe it or not, I've got a surprise for you to tell. I'll tell you when you come there, though, okay? So I was about to say it now, but I'm going to hold it. I'm going to jot it down in my notes so I don't forget to tell you. And I'll tell you this September 21 when you come, all right? But anyhow, a couple of things to tell you before we jump off of here. We're going to wrap up here soon. But number one, things that I need to remind every Christian mom about before sending her mom back to school. Oh gosh, before sending her kids back to school. Some of you moms who are going back to school too, and I commend you for doing that with kids as well. That's no easy thing. Number one, pray for an extra dose of patience for yourself. Oh yes. So let's face it, the school year can test even the most saintly of moms. I'm telling you, you may think you got all the fruit of the Spirit just nailed down tight over the summer. And it usually happens like that because you're like, everything's a breeze and everything's just kind of easy going. And it's summer. You're on vacations and just letting things go. But listen, the school year starts and kids don't want to get up. They don't want to put their clothes on. They think that they can eat breakfast whenever they want. Just stuff happens. And you're like, we do this every day. We do the same thing every day. But for some reason, it can test you. So listen, just pray for it. And pray for extra patience, because everything that you have worked on developing all year long, every one of those fruit of the Spirit will be tested and tried at the school years you're sending kids back to school. Number two, remember that Jesus fed 5,000 people with just a few loaves of bread and fish. So packing a lunchbox every day for you should be a breeze. And if you say, I used to get so bent out of shape packing my kids' lunch boxes. I mean, if you all think I'm pretty routine with a daily schedule, you should have seen me packing lunches. It was insane. Like, I've got 25 bento boxes, and I would take one day at the beginning of the week and pack all their lunches for every day of the week. And we had notes in there, and everybody had their water and their fruit and their veggie and their protein. And my husband was like, "What are you doing?"
The ultimate lunchbox.
Right. I'm like, I'm packing lunch. He says, I have taken many lunches to school. Never Never has it looked like that. Where's the brown paper bag?
Bring it back.
Right? I've got the ice packs. And he's like, they don't need an ice pack. I'm like, but it's chicken and it's going to sit out. He goes, they don't need an ice pack. And and so I'm like, okay. And then I'm slipping ice packs in there as they're hitting in the car, right? Anyhow, you can pack a lunchbox, even if you've just got fish and some bread in there, they'll be cool. All right. You don't need to have the whole bento box things spelled out for the week. We had no room in our fridge for like water. I mean, it was just, I had everybody's lunches in there for the whole week. It was sad. Number 3, don't worry if your kids forget their homework occasionally. Just remind them that Jesus forgives all sins, including the sin of forgetting to do their math problems. Number 4, keep calm and trust God. And if that doesn't work, remember that coffee is a gift from above.
Amen.
Yes. And for some of you who are homeschooling, listen, there are some days where I would literally DoorDash some Starbucks. Some days you just have to have it, just your normal, whatever you've got in your kitchen. You're just like, listen, this ain't going to cut it right now. And it's only 9:00. I need something much more stronger. And so keep Starbucks on your DoorDash. All right. Number 5, when your child brings home a questionable art project, anybody ever had that happen? Or if they're creating something with you at home and you're just like, Mom, look what I made. And I'm just like, oh, it's so wonderful. What is this? Just remember that God created the world and he called it good. So embrace the abstract and proudly display their artistic masterpieces.
Good. So good.
I mean, I have been embarrassed so many times. I've, tried to explain what their artwork is. Oh, I see that this is such a great horse. Mom, that's not a horse. Like,
Right.
That's such a great dog. Mom, that's not a dog. It's like, oh, what did you draw?
Just tell me about it, please.
Right? What's their name? Or just what's their name? Number 6, remind yourself that the school drop-off line is not a NASCAR race, Darnell. Take a deep breath, follow the speed limit, and resist the urge to give your minivan custom racing stripes, okay?
Yes.
Number 7, stay positive when signing permission slips, all right? Instead of writing, I give my consent begrudgingly, try to add just a smiley face or an encouraging Bible verse and just know your kid's going to have a good time, all right? Number 8, I've only got 10, so this is number 8, all right? Embrace the chaos of back to school shopping. Oh my gosh. I'm going to finish this out and then I'm going to tell you all my story. So embrace the chaos of back to school shopping. If your kid's supply list includes 3 ring binders and colored pencils and a partridge in a pear tree, just roll with it. The more, the merrier. So we homeschooled for 4 years. Last year was our kids' first year in kind of a traditional school, like I said before. So last year was technically my first year doing like the back to school shopping, complete with, the uniforms that they needed and all the stuff. And I'm telling you, by the end of that day, I looked at Darnell and I was like, I understand at a different level now the back to school shopping thing. The stores are crazy. The shoppers are crazier. It is wild. And then we did the dumb thing. We did the dumb thing of taking our kids with us back to school shopping. Oh, was that dumb? And so they can't find the book bag they like, or this one wants this pencil box, but this one wants it too. And this one doesn't want it to have it because I saw it first. And oh, God bless you all. So just embrace it and do what I did this year. And just order everything online and let them just be surprised when it shows up at the doorstep in a box.
This is what I got you.
Number 9, remember that kids have an uncanny ability to lose socks, pencils, and many times their minds. But don't worry, God always knows where they are.
Yes.
Number 10, and finally, lastly, keep in mind that the school year is just a chapter in the grand story of your child's life. So laugh, make memories, and cherish the moments, even the ones that involve misplaced shoes and forgotten lunches. And anybody ever have your kid forget a lunch? Oh my goodness. It's going to be a great year for y'all. Last year, I'm not going to say my kid left their lunch because it was really me that got all other 3 kids' lunches in the car except for the one. Yes, Mom forgot one of her kids' lunches. And so it was, I realized it when I'm halfway to the school. And it's like, it doesn't make sense to go all the way back home. And so then I'm in my mind thinking, okay, so when I get to the school, do I just merge all the 3 lunches that I have and just divvy them up in between the 4 kids?
Right.
Will that work? And then I called Darnell. It's like, hey, have you left the house yet? I left the lunch for one of the kids. And he's like, just DoorDash them something. So then it's like, oh yeah, that's a solution. That'll work. And then I'm thinking, well, if I DoorDash the one kid something, the other 3 are going to hear about it and they're going to want it. Yeah. So look, we ended up DoorDashing everybody meals that day. And we just rolled with it. But Mom forgot the lunch that day. It was pretty wild. But those are just some of mine and Kaylee's tips for you guys. Back to school is just a chaotic time of the year, whether you've got kids going to school or you're getting kids off to college, you're empty nesting, whatever it is. It's just a different time of the year, but embrace it like you do every other season of transition, and it's going to go smoothly. Enjoy it. Take the rough days along with the good days and just have a blast. Enjoy your family, because there'll be a day when you're like, oh, you'll look back at those first pictures of the school year and you'll see how much they've grown and how much you miss them. And before you know it, you'll be getting pictures of your grandkids' first days of school, and you'll still be packing lunches and doing drop-off lines, but you'll be excited to do it for your grandkids.
Right. Totally different then.
Right. So again, I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Remember to sign up. Get your tickets for Girlfriends Conference 2023. Don't disappoint me and not show up. And come Thursday, it's just Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have so much fun. God's going to meet you there. Ladies, listen, you don't take enough time for yourself to just relax, enjoy, unplug, and listen. At the start of a school year, when things are already chaotic, it will make your life so much easier knowing that you've got Girlfriends Conference coming up in a few weeks. You've got something to look forward to, where it's like, I'm not going to have all these children for at least three nights. I'll be away and just hanging out with my girls and having a good time and letting God download into me. So put this on your calendar, get your ticket, and just have it there where you're like, listen, it doesn't matter if today is a rough day and this kid didn't want to get out of their bed, because Girlfriends Conference, I'm going to be there in just a few weeks. All right. So grab your tickets, invite somebody to come along with you, and I'll see you guys at Girlfriends Conference 2023. Have a great, great day. We love y'all.
Yes. Love you all. See you later. Bye, Pastor Rochelle.
See you, Kaylee. Thanks for coming on.